Hello there. Every Indian two-wheeler brand is offering us a 200cc motorcycle, but none of the Japanese have the guts to compete with them, other than Yamaha, of course, because Yamaha believes it can offer a smaller capacity motorcycle with a striking design to take on what we feel is the best bike in the segment, the TVS Apache RTR 200 4V. But is the MT-15 worth the additional money in spite of having such an amazing and different design? Well, in today's video, I'm going to be telling you just that. But before we get going, make sure to hit that like button, click on the bell icon and subscribe to the MotorBeam channel.
If you wanna be a millionaire, your own former superhero, have a house in a center square, and hear your name when the wind blows. Will you listen to the plan and all that it demands? Well, here's your chance.
We all know that the MT-15 is the naked version of the R15, but the MT-15 has done more than just remove its clothes because it gets its own striking identity, and boy oh boy, it looks absolutely gorgeous. Yes, the Apache looks sporty, but this bike is just in another league altogether. Now, some might not like the design of this motorcycle because from certain angles it does look a little evil, I would say. But yes, the design elements, well, we know Yamaha can go out of the conventional and design something which will really attract a lot of attention, whether people like it or not. The headlight, of course, is something which has this menacing look. It really strikes out, and this projector headlight, which is also an LED, gives good throw at night, but the spread of the light from the Apache is just better. But all is not rosy because Yamaha has carried over the exhaust from the R15. This motorcycle deserved an underbelly. The seat here on the Apache is a split setup, meanwhile this one gets a single setup and the grab rail is better on the Apache too. Both motorcycles get an LED tail light, but the body at the rear of the MT is just shorter, that's why it gets an extended mudguard. However, none of these motorcycles get LED indicators, which again feels out of place in 2019. While the fuel tank on the MT is sleek and compact, the one on the Apache is more attractive thanks to that offset fuel cap. Both these motorcycles get rear view mirrors which aren't that useful. The one on the Apache are slightly better. The MT-15 is pure street naked. There is no visor on offer. This one gets it, but it's not of much use because it is very small. It doesn't help at all at higher speeds. But when it comes to stickering, well, no beating TVS because this motorcycle has a lot of stickers. While the MT-15 is a very compact motorcycle, tall riders will still be more comfortable on this motorcycle when compared to the Apache because this one gets rear set pegs, meanwhile the Apache gets center set pegs. Although the riding position is slightly leaned in on this motorcycle, on the MT-15 to sit upright, piloting a handlebar, meanwhile the TVS gets a clip-on. Remember that famous Yamaha tagline, "Arrive alone"? Well, it applies to this motorcycle as well because the pillion seat is of no use at all, and definitely the one on the Apache is better. No Japanese motorcycle brand wants to make a 200cc motorcycle. Either they'll make a 150 or they'll make a 250. However, Yamaha's 150 has enough oomph to take on the 200 from TVS because it produces almost similar horsepower. However, having the higher displacement, the TVS motorcycle obviously has a lot more torque on offer. The R15's powertrain has got a lot of praises and not without reason. It's a fantastic engine. In fact, there's good amount of punch on offer, and with VVA technology, the one on the MT-15 has also been tweaked a bit with the final drive being altered. They've actually gone 4 up on the rear sprocket. That has been done to make the MT more punchy lower down, because obviously a compromise on top speed won't hurt that much considering this is a naked motorcycle. But no matter what Yamaha does, there is no beating the TVS Apache 200 in terms of low-end performance and city rideability. The 200cc motor just feels more punchy and livelier in the city, and it has a decent mid-range too. But due to VVA and the altered final drive, the MT-15 is also quite punchy in the mid-range and absolutely screams to its red line. While TVS has cut corners in certain places like giving the Apache an oil cooler, Yamaha gives it liquid cooling, and overall refinement is slightly better on the MT as well. While the Apache 200 comes with a 5-speed gearbox, the MT-15 gets a 6-speed unit, and both these motorcycles also get a slipper clutch. The clutch is not only lighter on the MT-15, it also has the smoother shifting gearbox, and having the lower displacement, it is also the more frugal motorcycle here. But that advantage in terms of fuel efficiency has been negated because the MT-15 has a smaller tank when compared to the Apache 200. But sorry Yamaha, there is no replacement for displacement, because the TVS Apache 200 is actually faster to the ton, and not only that, it also has the higher top speed here. Between both these motorcycles, it's the Apache 200 which sounds better. It has a bassier exhaust note. Meanwhile, the Yamaha's exhaust note is kind of refined. It's not that exciting, although it really opens up in the top end. It also has the higher red line here. There's not much to differentiate between both these motorcycles as far as cycle parts go. First and foremost, the big difference is of course the frame, because the TVS Apache 200 uses a double cradle frame. Meanwhile, the MT-15 uses a perimeter frame, which they like to call as Delta box. However, for the price and considering the international version gets it, the MT-15 should have got upside down forks at the front and a better swing arm at the rear. That aside, there's no denying the fact that the MT-15 is just the better motorcycle in terms of handling and riding feel, because the suspension is on the stiffer side and it just eggs you to push harder and faster. Meanwhile, the Apache 200 is a calmer motorcycle to ride. It's more comfortable. The suspension is on the softer side, which means that it has the better ride quality here. The Yamaha also gets the better tires, and it has a wider tire at the rear as well. While the brakes on the MT-15 are decent, it could have had slightly better initial bite. Meanwhile, TVS has absolutely nailed it with the braking performance of the Apache 200. Not only does it have better braking performance, it also gets dual channel ABS, which the MT-15 misses out on, being given a more cost-effective single channel unit. Both being naked motorcycles do not have great high-speed stability, but then they are city machines which excite you a lot. The switchgear is better on the Apache 200 because the one on the Yamaha slightly confuses you, because they've actually swapped the position of the horn and the indicator buttons. But that said, the overall build quality is slightly better on the MT-15. Both these motorcycles get an all-digital instrument cluster, and you really can't choose one between them, because there's some information which the Apache offers which the MT-15 misses out on, like a race timer and acceleration timer as well, and it also gets a lap time recorder. Meanwhile, the MT-15 will also tell you your average speed along with your average fuel economy as well as live fuel economy. However, the display on the MT-15 uses a negative LCD, meanwhile the one on the Apache uses a positive one. The result is that in real harsh sunlight, you can't really see much on the instrument cluster. I'm actually thinking which is the better motorcycle here, because both these Street Fighter machines are very capable indeed. The MT-15 without a doubt is the more fun motorcycle. So if you're looking for something sporty and engaging, it is the Yamaha you should pick. The Apache is just so much more value for money and the more comfortable motorcycle as well. It costs, hold your breath, it costs rupees 30,000 less than this Yamaha, in spite of having more features on offer, which begs the question, is it worth paying that much extra just for the Yamaha badge or better handling indeed? Well, if you're looking for handling, pay 5,000 more and get the R15 period. But if you have to choose between both these motorcycles, this just comes out on top without a second thought. Thank you so much for watching this video. What do you guys think, which is the better street fighter motorcycle, or would you just opt for the FZ25, which again proves that Yamaha's frugal engineering is something to applaud?